Hi everyone, my name is Samantha DiBenedetto and I am excited to be sharing my honors thesis project with you. I'm a marketing major with a minor in sustainability, and next fall I will be starting a career as a consulting analyst. Here's a special thanks to my mentor, Professor Christopher Bacon, and my reader, Professor Jean-Pierre Lecrin. For my thesis, I focused on the sustainable implications of both coffee and tea systems and how this may affect consumer preference. Caffeine is often considered America's most popular drug. It is estimated that about 90% of Americans drink caffeine at least once a day in some form or another. I have chosen to analyze the sustainable implications of the two most common forms of caffeine, coffee and tea. I believe it is important for consumers to have the knowledge to make the most sustainable decision, even if they choose otherwise. To gather information on my topic, I used a lot of online academic research and studies, and I also created an online survey using Google Forms. From this survey, I received 22 responses from SCU students. The results of my research showed me that both coffee and tea systems have many environmental issues to worry about. One sustainability issue in coffee systems is that there are coffee cherries often found polluting waterways. In Latin America, where 1/5 of the world's Arabica beans are grown, coffee processing plants' discharges represent a major source of river pollution and wastewater from wet milling of coffee, and that can carry up to 30 to 40 times more pollutants than urban sewage. Another sustainable issue is piles of leftover coffee grounds and also the use of non-recyclable coffee pods and paper waste from takeaway cups. There are also sustainable issues in the tea industry. Tea plantations are also plagued by diseases, and production and processing of tea often leads to degradation of soils, loss of biodiversity, and excessive water use, and also negatively affects tea workers. Additionally, the small tea sectors fail to address environmental issues. Large-scale conversion of forest land to tea cultivation and measures to correct ecological imbalance and other environmental problems sometimes pose challenges to small growers. In Sri Lanka, a major tea-producing country, most of the hill slopes above 900 meters have been deforested to plant tea. Tea cultivation severely affects the soil moisture, and water table, causing erosion, leading to silting of waterways, streams, rivers, and reservoirs. Tea yield is also greatly influenced by weather and especially by droughts, as most estates depend on rain-fed irrigation. Heavy rains can also erode topsoil and wash away fertilizers and other chemicals into waterways. One improvement in this industry is to use and sell strictly loose tea leaf products. It has been found that the carbon footprint of tea bags is 10 times higher than that of loose leaf tea, as tea bags require carbon-intensive packaging materials, for example, nylon or paper tea bag, strings, boxes, and plastic wrap around the box. Through my research, I have found that tea is slightly more ecologically friendly than coffee. According to a recent study conducted by Dutch scientists, it takes roughly 140 liters of water to produce 1 cup of coffee because of the irrigation and the wet harvesting and processing technique used by many of the major coffee producers around the world. The amount of water needed to produce a cup of tea, however, is 8 times smaller than coffee. In addition, coffee has a strong correlation with the use of dairy products, which have the biggest ecological footprint of all beverages. Through my survey, I found that tea is slightly more sustainable and is also perceived by SCU students to be more sustainable. However, that didn't stop coffee from being the most popular drink among the SCU students surveyed. Most of the students didn't pay much attention to certification labels such as Fair Trade and Rainforest Alliance. For those who did, they looked for Fair Trade and USDA organic labels. In conclusion, to be more sustainable, SCU students should try to choose tea over coffee whenever possible. They should look for Fair Trade and Rainforest Alliance certified products. They should avoid adding dairy products into beverages. And they should also try to use reusable cups and K-pods. I had a lot of fun researching this topic, as I am both an avid coffee and tea drinker and have a passion for sustainability. Thank you for listening.